Hey guys, what's up? So we're gonna be looking at the basic arithmetic laws, okay? And these are really important. I enjoyed these so much when I was in prep school. I remember doing this. That's the first time I saw these in prep school. They're really easy to understand, and if you remember these laws, your life will be much easier when it comes to math, like much easier. And they're really easy. They're really basic, okay? And let's just look at them. So the commutative law, let's look at the first one. Okay, so the commutative law handles the order of operations, okay? So let's just look at an example here. Let's say you have 2 plus 4 plus 8, right? 2 plus 4 plus 8 would give you 14, right? Now, let's say we switch the 4 and the 2, right? The order. 4 plus 2 plus 8, it still gives you 14, okay? And let's do like 2 times 3 times 1, right? It should be 6, okay? 2 times 3 would give me 6, and then 6 times 1 would give me 6. And let's say I switch the 3 and the 2. Let's say I have 3 times 2 times 1. It should also be equal to 6, right? So this is basically saying that when it comes to addition and when it comes to multiplication, they follow the commutative law, which says that it doesn't matter what the order is when it comes to addition and multiplication, right? It's commutative, right? Yeah, it's commutative. So that basically means that the order doesn't matter when it comes to adding, okay? It really doesn't matter when it comes to just adding. It doesn't matter. If you switch the numbers, you're gonna get the same thing, okay? Now let's look at division and multiplication. Sorry, division and subtraction instead, okay? Instead of multiplication and subtraction. Let's look at those. So let's say we have 2 minus 3 plus 1 is equal to, all right, 2 minus 3 plus 1 is actually equal to 0, okay? Because 2 minus 3 will give me negative 1, then plus 1 will give me 0. Okay, so let's say I switch the numbers, okay, in this case. And I say, instead of 2 minus 3, I say 3 minus 2 plus 1, okay? That would be equal to 3 minus 2 would give me 1, and that would be equal to 2. So these are not equal, right? 2 minus 3 plus 1 is not equal to 3 minus 2 plus 1. So you can't just switch around the numbers for subtraction, okay? And let's do the same thing for division. Let's do the division down here. Let's say we have 10 divided by 2, okay? 10 divided by 2 is 5. And let's say let's just switch these numbers. Let's say we have 2 divided by 10. 2 divided by 10 is 2 over 10, right? Which would be 0.2. So it's clearly not the same. And for division and subtraction, we would say that it's not commutative, okay? Right. So multiplication and addition are commutative, but division and subtraction are definitely not commutative. You can't just mix around the numbers, bro. That's not how it goes for these. You can switch around the numbers for addition and multiplication. Yes, you can. No problem, but not for these, okay? So that's basically what the commutative law says. Now let's look at the associative law. Okay, so the associative law handles grouping of numbers, okay? So let's say you have 2 plus open bracket 4 plus 1, right? What the associative law is saying is that it really doesn't matter where the brackets are, okay? For addition, let's say you have 2 plus 4 in brackets plus 1, they would both be equal to the same thing, right? 2 plus 4 plus 1 would be 7, and 2 plus 4, you do the brackets first, then 1 would be equal to 7. So for addition, the associative law holds, meaning that it doesn't matter what the order of the brackets are in this case because it's going to be equal to the same thing. And let's do the same thing for multiplication, right? Let's say we have 2 times 4 times 1. And we're going to put this 2 times 4 in a bracket. So we're going to multiply this one first, then multiply that by 1. So we're going to get 8 times 1, which is equal to 8, right? Now let's put the bracket between the 4 and the 1 in this case. So we're going to say 2 times 4 times 1. So we're going to do this first, which is 4 times 1. Then we're going to multiply that by 2, right? So we're going to get 4 times 2, which is 8. So we get the same thing. So the law holds for adding and multiplication. All right. So addition and multiplication are associative, right? Right. Let me put associative there, right? Addition and multiplication are associative. They are. Now let's try to look at division and subtraction. Let's see if it's going to be the same thing. And some of you have probably already guessed it's not the same. Okay, so let's look at subtraction first. Okay, so let's say you have 2 minus 4 plus 1. Okay, and then yeah, you should get 2 minus 4, which would be minus 2 plus 1, which would be negative 1. Okay, now let's change the brackets around in this case. Okay, and I'm gonna say 2 minus open bracket 4 plus 1. Okay, this is gonna be completely different, guys. It's gonna be 2 minus 4 plus 1, which would be 2 minus 5. So you're gonna get negative 3 here. So you can see that they're not the same. Okay, they're not the same at all. I'm gonna put not equal to 2 minus 4 plus 1. Because you have to do the brackets first and you end up with something totally different just by the brackets changing. So you can't just change the brackets in the subtraction case if there's a subtraction in the equation. All right, and let's look at division now. Okay, so let's look at division. Let's say we have 4 divided by 2, right? Divided by 2. Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then let's move the bracket and say 4 divided by 2 divided by 2. Okay, we're gonna end up with something totally different, guys. It's gonna be 4 divided by 2, which is 2 divided by 2. Then you're gonna get you're gonna end up with 1, right? For the left hand side, which is this one. For that equation, you're gonna end up with 1. Then for this, in this case, we're going to have to do it in the brackets first, which is 2 divided by 2, which would give you 1. And then 4 divided by 1 is equal to 4, right? So these are not the same, right? So it's the same thing as earlier with the commutativity, that addition and multiplication are associative, but they're not. Division and subtraction are not associative, okay? So you can't just switch around the brackets when you're dividing or you're subtracting. Okay, great. So let's move on to the distributive law. All right, guys, so we're gonna look at the distributive law now, and it's a little different. The distributive law handles situations where you're multiplying numbers in brackets, okay? So let me explain what I mean. Let's say we have 3 times 4 plus 9, okay? What the distributive law states is that we have to break these up. Well, okay, let's say we multiply this 3 times 4, right? 3 times 4, and then we add that to 3 times 9, right? So we basically multiply by both, okay? So 3 times 4 plus 3 times 9, okay? That should be equal to 12 plus 3 times 9 would be 27, and that would give us 39, okay? Now, cool. So this is pretty much what the law is, okay? So the law is basically saying, yeah, you end up getting the same thing as if you added the brackets first, which is 4 times 9, which would give you 13, right? And 3 times 13 would be equal to 39. So basically the law is saying that when you break up the brackets and you do them separately, you end up getting the same number, okay? So you're totally fine with that. Now let me do it for the subtraction case, okay? Meaning that it would be a subtraction in the bracket instead of a multiplication. Let's say we have 4 multiplied by 1. No, let's not use 1. Let's use 2 minus 1, okay? Okay, so 4 multiplied by 2 minus 1, okay? Now let's break this up in the brackets, and let's say we have 4 times 2 plus 4 times negative 1, okay? We're going to end up with 8 minus 4, which is equal to 4, right? And it would be the same thing if we just did the brackets first. Let's say we had 4, this 2 minus 1 would give us 1. 4 times 1 would equal to 4. So it's the same thing. So addition and subtraction are distributive, okay? And we don't have to look at division and multiplication because, right, the distributive law handles the multiplication of numbers in brackets, okay? Of numbers in brackets, okay? So we don't have to look at multiplication and division. It's really handling when you're multiplying cases in the brackets, okay? So great. So that's it, guys. We're finished. All right, guys. So that's it. And I'll see you in the next lecture. And remember to do your best, and God will do the rest.